This is your Neepawa Town Council Debrief for the May the 17th, 2022 meeting. The debrief will take you through the key issues being discussed by Council and provide a bit more information on what they mean for the town. Because of the length of this week's Council meeting, we will be airing it in two parts, and so we will have a separate debrief for each of the parts. This is part one. One of the biggest parts of the past couple Council meetings has been the passing of the town's annual financial plan and property taxes for 2022. This week, we hear from representatives of the Assessment Board who outline the process of property value assessments and how Neepawa compares to the rest of the province. There are a couple of key dates they mention in the presentation. The first is July the 6th, when they will be in attendance at the town office from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to be available for questions and information. The second is November 21st, which is the deadline to file an appeal related to your property tax assessment.
All right, so tonight we'll welcome Glenn and Anthony from the Assessment Board, and I guess we have to go into...
No, you're good. You can just start.
Can we just start? Okay. Very good.
Well, thank you for having us down here tonight to speak on the impact of the reassessment that's presently going on across Manitoba. I have what we have passed out in the past, and this is a kind of a breakdown of the story of our research since the last time we did a reassessment. I'll get you to pass out those on this side, and I'll go on this. Well, I guess if we just look at even just the front page, I'm not going to spend a lot of time reading through this word by word because that's really not as important as the information's there for you to look at after when you have time. And that's probably the best way of putting it in my mind. Again, I'll even start on the last page, which I was looking at tonight, and I was going to say the municipal administrators will play an important role in answering the ratepayers' questions. And this report should assist municipal administrators to answer inquiries, and that really is important. We've always enjoyed the fact of the hard work Holly does at the front desk, and sitting with Jen Brown in Mendoza. If you phone our office, she'll be the lady that you'll talk to, and she's very efficient, and she'll get you the answers that you need, or get back to a ratepayer that needs to talk to me or Anthony. So if we go back to the front page, when this assessment, which will come out next week, I believe, on the heels of us meeting tonight, the ratepayers will get their information on the new assessment. We'll basically set up on the front here border revision of December 6th to deal with any concerns on that information. An appeal deadline for anybody to appeal their property in Neepawa. We need a cutoff date so that we can get this all set up so you can budget on it when it's finished. So the appeal deadline is November 21st of 2022, and I'm not going to discuss anything except the fact that you've got the number for the tax assistance office. There's been a lot of changes in homeowners grants and that kind of stuff that really I don't have the background to discuss that. We better phone right to that office. So if we turn to the next page, which is 1. Basically, it's kind of an overview there that all assessed properties in Manitoba will be updated. The last time that occurred was 2018, and this time around we'll be using the market values that we've researched since then. Again, we're trying to create equity for your ratepayers' fairness, and as always, I've been here a long time. We have done a lot better over the last decade, probably, in trying to give the ratepayers a greater understanding of what we do, and there's some real access out there. You can go on a website that we have. We hand these out later, and there's so much information here. Even if you don't own a property in Neepawa and you own it somewhere else in Manitoba, you can find out when There's going to be a meeting about it when you can talk to an assessor and how to get hold of them. And in fact, you can get on the website in the back of this and send us an email. And we find email is a really good tool these days in a lot of cases. In fact, it's a great tool when you're passing information back and forth of this type. And other than that, I did look at, again, the changing in your municipality's taxable assessment this time around are going to be fairly flat in my mind, as far as we're looking at the single-family residential is probably one of the biggest concerns when you see increases that may create taxes for those ratepayers. And we're suggesting the taxable assessment in your municipality over the period of time that we've studied increased by 4.4%. Some of you, I don't know if you've built anything lately, you might argue that the cost of building something has gone up more than 4.4%. But again, this is an average of taking a look, and again, by property class. We're breaking it down from single-family residential, apartments, condos, commercial assessment, institutional, pipeline, and railway. They're all broken down. Well, I guess one of the more important things when we look at what's happened to Neepawa is how it compares to the province. Again, the people in Manitoba who see more growth in their area may end up taking a little more of a share of the school taxes that they may need to pay. And in this case, the province's taxable assessment over the same period of time that we were discussing, Neepawa's period of time, has gone up around 10%, whereas your municipality in total, looking at all those classes, has only gone up 4%. So you're under the 10, which is, again, not a bad place to be in for that reason alone. After that, as far as I was looking at the back here, in the case of any of you who get an assessment on your home, the properties with an assessment increase of less than 3.9% should probably see a municipal tax decrease of some sort. Now again, depending on how your budgeting goes on the information that we're supplying, because at the end of the day you take that information and deal with that information you get from the money for your services you're supplying. But properties, again, with an assessment of increase of greater than 3.9% would see possible municipal tax increase. We will get you your handles out for me. Anthony, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, on page 7, we have a provincial website that you can go on. We also, Manitobans can now access and receive your assessment notice and a detailed property assessment information online. And we also have a toll-free customer line. What Anthony's handing out right now will be the brochure that will come to the ratepayer in your town. And they will be able to look at this, and it does give brief information, but I think good information on it. You know, how can I get a hold of the assessment or assessor? You know, why was there an assessment? What does that mean? How will that affect my property taxes? As I said on the back, we've got to meet the assessors, in-house communities across Manitoba. In Neepawa, we're going to meet with your people on July 6th at 10 a.m. to 2 in this office, I believe, Colleen, is that right?
Yep, right here in Board.
And there will also, if you have a chance and you're somewhere out west, we'll also be in Hamilton on July 7th and we'll be in Rosburn on July 8th. In all cases of those three choices of where we're going to be, we'll have information to cover all the districts or municipalities that we cover. And I work out west in, say, Prairie View, Yellowhead. We have Alice Archie. Those people may come to the one in Rosburn, whereas other people in Hamilton may be coming from Oakview, or they may be coming from Rosburn, or things on these spells. We do go, I do have to look after Glenalla as well. So I would expect some people probably will be coming here. They haven't had a very fascinating spring in Glenalla, from what I've heard. There's been a lot of flooding. So this will give them a chance to come and talk to us. So really, that's all I really have to offer tonight. Just wanted you guys to have a chance to see this. We're trying to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to approach us and have questions, good questions. If they want to ask questions, we really are happy to try to answer them. And we also will try to come to their door if they want us to inspect the property and explain how we come up with our answers. One of the unique things about Manitoba versus some of the other municipalities, provinces in this area, in this instance, is the onus in Manitoba is on the assessor to prove market value. That's not the case in the rest of the other provinces. And that's good. I think it's important. And I've been here in July for 40 years, so I've enjoyed this career, and I do take great pride in that fact that we try to make people understand it. Maybe you won't make them happy, but at least if they feel like they've been dealt with fairly, and we move on. So anyway, that's all I have to say for tonight. Anyway, I do have business cards I will leave with Colleen. And those not here for everyone if you want to take one, or if she wants to hand them out to anyone that comes in the door. Yeah, for sure. I know you guys probably got a long day already.
We might have a few questions.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, you know, it would be very important, like, you know, there's people going to be watching this, that they realize that, you know, when they get their assessment in the mail, they should be contacting you guys and talking straight to you guys, because you'll probably explain everything to them and you'll have a nice conversation. Yes. Like in the past, all your conversations have been very professional and fact-based. So, and there may be some unknown things that you didn't know, like structures might have been removed in the interim, or you know, shed burnt down or something like that. But
There's an old saying, we're only as good as our last inspection. So the more recent it is, the more comfortable the ratepayers should feel, and as an assessor I would feel too. If something changed that you're concerned, please, as you say, Murray, please call us.
yeah.
Yes.
So, anybody else? Good. Well, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
In council reports this week, Councillor Nadeau covers the Rosburn Trail Association AGM. This time he comes bearing a call to action. The portion of the trail in our district requires some upkeep, and he is hoping to spearhead a joint youth-senior project to tackle it in the near future. He also indicates that after years of discussion and input, the association will be outlining the rules and expectations of each partner in an MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, that will be coming to council in the near future.
Councillor Nadeau.
Yes, on May 5th, the Rosburn Trail Association had its AGM, and it was held at Clear Lake. So myself and Mayor McCutcheon, we went down there, and in the AGM meeting it came out that the Trail Association thought that we had a really good year, a lot of productivity, we didn't stop during COVID, and we were able to accomplish a lot of sub-trails along our section of trail. A new chair was elected. Brian Poland, he's from Minto, Odana, and he was elected as the new chair. There's going to be an MOU, a memo of understanding, coming for all councils, and it's going to outline what rules and expectations are expected for your part of the trail, on what each community is going to do for their section. It's something we've been working on, well, the Trails Board has been working on for a number of years, about 4 or 5 years now. So we're at that point now for each community to have that, just to have some more parity across the trail. There's one thing that we've done this past year that we recognized was our beautiful trail website. We put a lot of investment in it, so it's the RSTA. If you just Google that, you'll see our nice website. It has pictures. And if anyone uses the trail and they want to take some pictures, they can email the webmaster at our website and they will post their pictures. And you know, we definitely want to always receive more and more feedback on how to make the trail better. We have a lot of signage, but we're always looking to add more, just so people stay on the trail properly. A good thing that came out of our regular meeting there also is that Neepawa was, I'll say, awarded. We were selected this year to do a little bit of trail cleanup, that we're going to be able to get some of our youth and our seniors working together. That's my plan, in order to get them helping to clean up the trail, to keep the section closest to Neepawa very clean. And that's everything.
Great. All right, thanks a lot.
Manager of Operations Denisa Kay is back this week with an update on the various projects his department is handling. First and foremost of these is the connection to the new water reservoir on May 20th. Residents are reminded that the entire town will be under a boil water advisory following that connection for a few days, until the water can be tested and cleared. The town will advise the community when the process is complete. Summer staff were temporarily deployed to Minnedosa to help with sandbagging efforts, which hopefully will be winding down over the long weekend as the water starts to recede. He also notes that Maple Leaf, which does our street paving, will be revising their work schedule due to weather delays.
So then we'll move to our manager of operations, Denny.
Thank you. Just as a informal information that we did send our parks seasonal staff over to Minnedosa to give them a hand today. They kind of plead for help, wanting additional hands. I guess their volunteers are getting quite tired, so we offered up some of our kids. They went over there to help them out and see if they need assistance again tomorrow. The boil water advisory, which will be going out on Friday, due to the work being completed at the reservoir at the water treatment plant, is all going on schedule as far as I know. We've got some wrap-up meetings again on Thursday with the engineers, the contractors all involved to ensure that everything is still planned out perfectly. I'd really like to thank all the businesses. A lot of them we've all contacted and they're incredibly accommodating, understanding the circumstances of this, so we really appreciate that. Residents are understanding it, but there's still some misconceptions thinking that we have a lot of water storage in our reservoir or water tower, and that's not the case, people. In a matter of 4 hours, the residents could drain that tower out if they're careless. So we really need you to conserve as much water as possible. If we have, God forbid, a fire, it's a lot of trips to the river and to water bodies of water to suck water up to haul water, opposed to using what we have. Staff training's been ongoing. The last couple weeks we've had quite a few going through some courses right now, so we'll get that happening. Again, with water conservation, our lift stations are running in near capacity right now with all the groundwater, the leaking tile, everything else that's being flushed on the toilet, so we really try to minimize water consumption. We can really feel it. Our wastewater plant, the numbers are up to like 41 liters a second, what Kevin told me this morning, and that's a high number. Staff have been working to clean the pools, so that's moving along nice. Obviously we'll do a reprieve on our boil water, so we're not using any water on it. And then again, ask residents to be mindful and patient with our road maintenance. We're trying to button them up as best we can, but it's hard to fix ruts on a road that's full of frost boils. So we're kind of band-aiding and patching everything as best we can. So please, a little patience there. And finally, I did meet with Maple Leaf today, our paving contractor, so they're revising their paving schedule. They're already feeling the crunch based on the weather delays that they've already encountered, so they're trying to finalize some updated additional paving we're asking for, some numbers, but also what their scheduling is looking like. So they're just kind of, again, hoping for restrictions to be removed and weather to warm up for them so they can get going. That's everything I've got.
Okay, thanks, Denny. I think you were saying at one point that the last time we had a boil water advisory was, what, about 20 years ago? So.
Yes, I believe it was in 2001 or 2002, right before I started here. That's when we had a full failure at the water treatment plant and it flooded. So that was an entire, no water for the community and also low water. So they made it through that one, so I'm sure we can make it through 1 day of no water and 3-4 days of a boil water advisory. Orders.
Yeah, that's right. Good.
We close this first half of the council meeting with a public hearing for a zoning amendment in preparation for constructing an 11-unit residential building off Dominion Road. The presentation is interesting because it notes one of the provincial considerations that are addressed when preparing for construction in some areas, and that is the Historic Resources branch. Developers need to be mindful of the possibility that something may be discovered and prepared to mitigate the effects of the development.
Is there chairs that you want?
Okay, would you guys, would you like to sit up closer here? If you're interested.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll go into amendment zoning here. So moved by Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Pudlow. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Neepawa do now open this public hearing to hear representation to amendment to the town of Neepawa zoning bylaw 3184-18. All in favor?
That's not.
That's on, right?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's just to amend
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original zone bylaw.
Sorry, my fault.
We're good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm good now. Yeah. Jerry, you're done.
You're scared, Brian.
Yeah. I was looking at a different one, which is on the same bylaw. Anyway, so proceeding, general intent, this is bylaw 3209-22, and it's a map amendment. It's a map amendment for the town of Neepawa zoning map. Attached to and being part of the town of Neepawa zoning bylaw number 3184-18, as amended, is hereby further amended in order that lands described as follows: lots 6 and 7, plan 6991, located on part of the northwest 28, 14, 15 west in the town of Neepawa, as shown outlined in heavy solid line on a map attached hereto and marked as Schedule A and made part of the amending bylaw number 3209-22. Be rezoned from its current MH industrial heavy zone to the proposed RM2 residential multi-unit 2 zone. And I guess just basically the reason to support is it's just amendment just for future residential development, multi-use residential development on this noted property. It's a bylaw amendment. The notification has been circulated to provincial departments for review and discussion. Out of that content, out of that circulation, there's no provincial objections to the bylaw. There was a couple comments that were wished to be noted, and that was historic resources reminds that if historic resources are discovered during development, the branch may require that an acceptable heritage resource management strategy be implemented by the developer to mitigate the effects of development on the heritage resource. And Drainage and Water Rights License Branch reminds the proponent that under the Water Rights Act, a valid water rights license is required to control water or construct, establish, or maintain any water control works. Water control works are defined as any dike, surface, or subsurface drainage, improved natural waterway, canal, tunnel, bridge, culvert, borehole, or contrivance for carrying or conducting water that temporarily or permanently alters or may alter the flows or level of water in the water body by any means, including drainage, or changes or may change the location or direction of flow of water by any means, including drainage.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no objections, but a couple notes. The same thing that the bylaw's been, it's been in two issues of local paper for circulation, as well as it's affecting the physical property. It was circulated to neighboring properties within 100 meters. I've received personally no communication in that circulation.
Okay. Any other comments?
Anything for your development or anything, any discussion?
Well, just to give you a bit of an outline what we're doing, yeah, at this point we're looking to drawing up a 11-suite building there. So we're trying to build, probably do it closer to the west end. And so there's lots of room further east to continue or develop that later on. We don't have a plan for the complete, it's a large property, we don't have a plan for the complete property at this point. That's what we're working on.
Yeah, sounds good.
So road access in there, you'll just make sure that the fire department can turn around garbage trucks and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, part of the permitting process would be a site plan and would include roadways, access points, alleys, things like that.
Starting this summer?
We would hope to later this year. Prices are high, but we'll see if it can work.
Have to cut your own trees down.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? All right. Well, thank you. I guess we Okay, so somebody to move the adjournment. Councillor Gerard, seconded by Councillor Nadeau. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Neepawa do adjourn the public hearing at 7:34. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Also covered were the completion of the handy van review, available lots at the Eastview property, receipt of the annual audited statements from the Beautiful Plains County Courthouse, and the town's March financial statement. You can view end-to-end coverage of the Town Council meeting elsewhere in the NACTV schedule, including immediately following this. This week's council meeting is divided into 2 parts, so be sure to check out both of them. If you miss one, they will be also available on our YouTube channel. We welcome your feedback on this program, and if you have questions or items that you'd like to see clarified or discussed, you can reach us at 204-476-2639 or by email at nactvnews@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.